Hello, welcome to this very impromptu live. I don't know if it has come across. It's very weird as a content creator or somebody with an Instagram account to kind of be, what do people think is going on? What do people understand? What is received and what is going on in my head? But I don't know if it's come across, but I have not been creating any content really in the last couple of months. Hi guys, hello. And really it's been like I have nothing to say, which isn't true. I'm having amazing conversations offline, but I haven't felt like any of it is sort of shrinkable down into the kind of reductionist message that tends to get on Instagram. So I've kind of been saying the odd thing here and there, but basically it's been crickets from me. So I apologise to you, the follower, who is not getting kind of what I promised. When you clicked follow on my account, you're not getting the content that I promised I would deliver. But I'm deciding to go into lives. I'm going to do a few more lives over the next couple of weeks and months, kind of just playing around with a different format. I've obviously done loads of lives in the past, but it's been a little while. And these are just going to be kind of 5-10 minutes, like this is the thought that I'm having at the moment kind of messages. Because as I say, I just feel like when you go into like making a little reel, it's got to be less than 90 seconds. It's got to be really reductionist. And my brain isn't working in short sentences at the moment. It's working in paragraphs, long meandering paragraphs. So the kind of thing I'm thinking about today that I would like to share with you is just a reflection on some of my clients that I've been working with over the past year and some of the common themes that have come up, and specifically my clients who are English teachers. So as you will know, I'm a language coach, or rather I'm a mindset coach. I don't really work on people's language, but I help folks who feel an inadequacy related to their English, and we work on what's really going on, because it's almost never their grammar or their vocab that is lacking. It's always something kind of in their beliefs or their expectations or the kind of standards that they're holding themselves to, that sort of thing. And a lot of my clients are English teachers themselves. And I just wanted to go over now in this live just a couple of the sort of common themes that I've been observing with my clients over the past year, and then tell you a little bit about a project that I have coming up in autumn, if you don't already know about it, that's related. So let me just get something out my eye first. Hello. More importantly, what do you think of my new glasses? Do we like them? I've never worn glasses regularly before, but I didn't realise how blind I was until I put them on and then went, oh, details in the distance. Great. Anyway, so these clients they're non-native English speakers. That's a term that is debated, how helpful that term is, but for the purposes of our discussion, they're non-native English speakers and they teach English. That's their job, that's their career. And some of the things that I have noticed that tend to come up. The first one is an over-preparing or an over kind of like an over-planning for classes. And obviously planning and preparation is to a certain extent effective, but what we would expect to happen over a teacher's career is that time planning, that effort planning becomes more and more automized. It becomes more and more automatic. So you're not spending, an hour preparing for an hour's class, or in some cases 3 hours preparing for an hour's class. And this comes from a sense of insecurity, a sense of needing to be in control, because what if the student says something, or what if one of the students says something that, I'm not prepared for? What if they ask a question? What if the conversation goes in a direction and I don't have the vocabulary to handle that? And I go back to my point I made at the beginning. For my clients, that is never a problem. They will always be able to handle unexpected questions. They will always have the vocabulary to deal with really whatever topic comes up. And they have what all teachers in the history of teaching have, which is I'm not sure about that. I'll go away and research it and get back to you. answer. So it's never that problem that's the problem. It's this sense, this worry that is so dominant in their mind that they're saying, rather than confront that possibility, I'm going to prepare and I'm going to over prepare. And this also means that when it comes to kind of different or more interesting or maybe even more helpful styles of teaching, which are less kind of didactic and more fluent, which encourage their students in their classroom to take the conversation where they want to go. Maybe, using techniques like dogme, which if you're a teacher you'll be familiar with, those feel off limits to a lot of my clients because they say, how can I do something like dogme? Even though it looks amazing, even though I would love to experiment with that, dogme is walking into a classroom not knowing where you're going. It's letting the students lead. And if you are coming at your job with insecurities, then, that feels like an option that isn't available to you. So that's one of the things that I'm seeing with my clients. I'm also seeing or hearing about this like constant stream of, I took a webinar, or I signed up for a course, or I've got a new qualification, or I'm looking at this new program that I might join. And it's this incessant training. And to a certain extent, just like preparation, to a certain extent, preparation is great. To a certain extent, training and qualifications are great. A lot of native speaker teachers could do with doing a lot more of them. But it's when that desire for a qualification isn't coming from, wow, that's a skill I don't, believe I have. I think I would, really benefit from learning this and from expanding my repertoire. I'm already really good. How much better would I be if I had that? Cool, let's do it. It's not coming from that place of curiosity and a desire to learn. Instead, it's coming from, shit, I don't have that. Shit, should I have that? I don't, oh my God, I'm a terrible teacher. I'm not good enough. Maybe this certificate, when I get this certificate, when I've done that pronunciation course, when I've got etc., then I'll feel like a good enough teacher. And that insecurity, again, is what's driving these decisions. And it's very easy, both in, the two examples I've given, preparing and getting qualified, to think that this is coming from a good place. And as I say, it can. My clients don't leave me and never do another training course again. But it's about where that's coming from, understanding where that's coming from, and understanding that if it is coming from a place of insecurity, then these are not going to solve the insecurity. They're going to mask the insecurity. They're going to put a little sticking plaster over the insecurity. But at the end, the insecurity is still going to be there. So those are the first two. Second one, same root. It's this insecurity, feeling of inadequacy. It's avoiding leadership positions. So it's maybe not going for promotions within their school system. It's maybe in other settings, perhaps not just promotions, but like you've got a training session or you've got a staff meeting and you are remaining quiet. There is a sense there perhaps that even if you're really confident in the classroom, the students only have an A2 level of English. You can handle that. Suddenly you're in a room with other professionals and you go, they must be better than me. They must be better than me. I sometimes make a mistake when I speak. I can't possibly either let them know, let my colleagues know that I am a flawed human being who sometimes messes up my prepositions, or it's the sense that, even if I did let them know, really all that means is like they are better than me. Whether they're native speaker or non-native speaker colleagues, just a sense that other people are here and I am down here with my ability, and I don't want to reveal that to people. So just for anyone jumping on the live now, I'm talking about non-native speaker teachers, my clients, and some of the common themes that I've seen. So we've had over-preparing, we've had this kind of over-qualifying yourself to compensate for the insecurities, and then an avoidance of speaking up in meetings, kind of owning your professionalism. Now, and I want to say, of course, just because I'm spotting these patterns does not mean that every one of my clients has shown every one of these things. And if you're listening and you're an English teacher, doesn't mean you necessarily tick all these boxes, but these are patterns I'm seeing. Now, Probably what's lying underneath these, and the fourth thing that I've noticed, is an internalized shame about not being a native speaker. And the reason I say internalized is that some of my clients come and they say like, yeah, I should be a native speaker. Absolutely, native speaker teachers are better. That is clearly something that they have like received, a message they've received, and they're regurgitating it. Others are coming to me saying, no, of course not. Like, of course non-native speaker teachers are just as good. I'm really proud of being a non-native speaker. And yet, underneath that, they've kind of done the step one of recognizing the problem and going, no, I'm not going to buy into that. Consciously, I can accept that, the status quo is not right, and that I am legitimate and I deserve to be here. And that's all their conscious level, but unconsciously, underneath all of that, they have an internalized shame and an internalized sense of like, well, they're always going to be ahead of me. Native speakers are always going to be here. I'm going to be here trying to catch up. So I'm going to over-prepare. So I'm going to over-qualify myself. So I'm going to avoid kind of speaking in front of these people, or speaking my kind of confident truth in front of these people, as a way of sort of compensating and hiding that feeling. So I say internalized because some people are saying it. For some people it's conscious, for some people it's unconscious, but for almost everyone I've worked with, there is the sense that as a language professional, they should, what a horrendously powerful word, they should be as good as a native speaker. And even when they are able to logically criticize that thought process, there's often a kind of kernel of belief sitting around underneath. And then the final thing that I've noticed is, and it's again sort of related to everything we've been talking about, is just this excruciating pressure that they are under that comes from being within a language field. And I have a lot of teachers and other language professionals like translators and interpreters. They'll say to me, if I was an engineer, for example, it wouldn't matter if I made a mistake. Now, I have other clients who are engineers who think it matters if they make a mistake. It turns out these things are universal. These insecurities are universal. But they say, if I were an engineer, if I were, just like working in an office, if I was blah, 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 then it wouldn't matter so much. I'd be okay about making mistakes. But I'm an English teacher. But I'm a translator, but I'm an interpreter, but I'm a language professional. I have to be held to a much, much higher standard. And this leads them then to go and put all that extra pressure and over-prepare and blah, 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 blah. And it's this sense of, well, yeah, of course, not everyone needs to be perfect. I accept that, but not me. I'm the exception. I need to be perfect. No, of course, I would never expect my students to, be scared of making mistakes. I just want them to talk. Oh, but that doesn't apply to me because I'm an exception, because I'm in this exceptional category of English teachers who needs to hold themselves to a higher standard. So, what's going to happen? So with my one-to-one clients, I've been working through this. And as I say, not everyone has all the 5 things that I've observed. Some have others, blah, 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 blah. But what I realized was that there are enough common themes for there to be a reason to kind of get these people together into a room. And some of you will have been at the live coaching event that I ran the other week. Some of you have been in, for example, like the coaching aspect of Deep Talk, which I ran last year. And you will know that getting people who have similar worries into a room together is incredibly powerful. And because I've observed that, I'm going to be running a group coaching program in the autumn. First time I've run one in this form, but it's going to be bringing together a lot of the work that I've been doing over the past few years, just in a slightly different format. The details and stuff are not available yet. I have not decided what they are, but there is a wait list that you can find in my bio. You can pop your name on that wait list. There's a link to a Google form just to tell me a little bit about your experience and what you're dealing with. And we're gonna go from there. I'm also going to be talking over the next kind of couple of weeks and months to more non-native speaker teachers, kind of letting them share their experiences, and also running a couple of events related to this. If you are not an English teacher and you're just a Sorry, how dismissing. If you are a learner, if you're an advanced user but you don't happen to work within the language teaching industry, that's absolutely fine. I'm still going to be producing content, she says, having not produced content in a while. I will still be obviously like working with you guys on what you're worried about and what you're dealing with, but there is going to be this kind of side project of working exclusively with teachers. So if that is something which interests you, head over to the link in my bio, profile bio, and then just add your name to the waitlist, and that will give you, I'll be contacting you guys first when I have information about it. But in the comments, perhaps I'm going to be kind of pressing the X, leaving the live, stopping the live. I don't know how to say it. I'm going to be ending this call in a few seconds, but if you're watching the replay, just if you're an English teacher, is that your experience? What do you think? Does that relate to your, what you're going through? Maybe this is something that you used to feel, but you've kind of done the work and you've worked through that. If you have any tips for any teachers who are still kind of in there, let us know. Let's have a conversation. I've got a client now, so I'm going to run, but I'll be back and deal with the comments in a little while. So it's been a pleasure. Bye.